These are just a few lessons that I feel like every woman should know in order to create the life that she desires, the most fulfilled, balanced, happy, joyful life possible for you. When we talk about resting in our feminine energy and we talk about literally embodying divine feminine energy, being completely at ease in your own energy, that comes from a balanced, regulated nervous system. There are things that we can do in order to create that life for ourselves. Most of the things that you desire in your life and the skill sets that are necessary in order to create that life are skill sets that can be taught. Things that most of us have not been given the information or access to. And so we see other people succeeding at life and we think that they somehow were gifted this at birth, or they have the family, the money, the time, the energy that we don't have. And in reality, a lot of those people were clever in curating the exact desired reality that they want using a lot of these lessons. So this is not a comprehensive list, but these are some of the main things that I've used in my own life that really helped me shift the energy and trajectory of my own life to literally create the desired reality that I have currently and the one I want in the future. So the first tip that I truly believe every woman should know: settling for what's available will cause you to become a downgraded version of yourself. There is a very different energy behind settling and getting exactly what you want. There is a level of fear and desperation that comes from settling. When we feel like, okay, we have to just take what we've been given and we need to be grateful for it because it could change or it could be taken away in the next minute, that's a different energy than saying, I've asked for what I desire and I'm getting exactly what I desire. It's no different than when you put in an order at a restaurant and they bring out the absolutely wrong meal, or you said you have allergies and these things cannot be on the food because you'll have a reaction, and they bring that plate out with exactly what you said you couldn't have, you send it back. The same thing applies to opportunities, relationships, or events in our life in which things are not going exactly as we desired. Now, there's a very different mindset and energy behind saying that this isn't what I desire and I deserve better than this, versus being controlling or manipulative or angry because you want everything on your plate plus what's on those people's plate. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you're saying you want to be in a relationship and you have an idea of what you want to feel in that relationship, but what's available in your, let's say, neighborhood or in your life is not at that standard of what you're asking for and what you desire. This doesn't mean we just go find somebody who will be with us. We want to find exactly what we're asking for. The same thing with job opportunities. Sure, not every job opportunity is going to be exactly what you want. And there are certain things where you need to use it as a stepping stone in order to get to the next level that you desire to be at. But that doesn't mean we go for a job that's multiple levels down from where we're actually qualified because we're too afraid to see what else could come for us. That's what I mean. It's a different energy. When you use fear or you're guided by desperation, you will get the results of fear and desperation. The next thing is that healthy friendships are literally the secret sauce for life. Healthy woman-centered friendships literally can change your life. When you have women in your life who are willing to hold space for you, not only willing, but have the capacity to hold space for you, where they want to see you grow, they want to see you happy, where your wins are a win for them, where they have joy when you have joy. Those are the kinds of relationships that can literally help change your life. Now, there's a difference, right? Because when we have unhealthy relationships or we're connected to people who just want to bring us down, they will literally put us in situations that compromise our health and safety. They will want you to be in environments that are not good for you. So let's say, for example, you have a goal of losing weight and your friend is a secret hater and she sees you doing these things, but she wants to go out for drinks. She wants to party. She wants to eat terrible. She makes you feel bad about the fact that you want to lose weight. That's not a friend. That's not somebody who wants to see you grow. And a lot of these lessons, truly, I believe that you can apply them at any stage of your life. And you really should be, because you're never going to stop growing. You're never going to stop evolving. You don't get out of your 20s and then you're like, oh, I'm in my 30s now, it's settled. No. A lot of times you're creating the fertile ground for your growth. Your 20s are like prepping the land for your 30s. Your 30s are where it really takes off if you have allowed yourself to align. You cannot be not learning, not alchemizing, not extracting lessons, and then confused about why your life is taking a downturn. That's not what we're talking about. You need to constantly be moving in a direction that allows for growth. And the same thing with your friends. If you have friends who are around you who are not worried about the right things, they don't have goals, they don't have hobbies, they don't care for the things that they have, they're not interested in actually valuing the things that they have, they're not going to value you. People cannot love you more than they love themselves. If someone doesn't like themselves, they're not going to like you. And sometimes we can get confused and think friends are forever, or, our friends wouldn't be haters. Yes, they can. And they do. The next tip is that the more promises you keep to yourself, the more confidence you have in life. That, I feel like, is really the secret to having confidence. When you see people who are really confident, they're bold, they're brave, they go out in life and they want to do things, and they almost feel like they can take on anything. Like, they don't seem to know that they're human and have a limit, because they don't treat themselves like that. Everything has a technique or a trick that you can use. And if you think to yourself, I don't know how to do something, you want to learn. Don't think to yourself, I don't know how to do this, and then feel bad and be upset or feel like, well, everybody else, because that's a waste of energy. That's literally putting energy into something that's not going to grow and then being confused about why it's not working. Everything has a technique. If you decide you want to look a certain way, or you want your body to be a certain way, or you want your hair to be a certain way, or you want things in your life to look a certain way, research that thing. Women who get what they want, smart women, aligned women, are very comfortable with using their resources. If your only resource is YouTube, Google, the library, then that's what you need to be doing. If your resource is that you're now in college and you have professors available to you, or you have people in your life that you can ask questions, you want to do that, because the more you see that the things that you're desiring are just a matter of breaking down the steps, the more confident you'll feel that you can achieve those steps. Sure, if I told you that, you have a goal of starting a YouTube channel, right? But you're thinking to yourself, man, like, look at those channels with 1 million plus, and I want that. But really, they had to start at zero. They had to start at getting over their fear of turning the camera on and speaking to the camera. And you want to break that down to the smallest goal, right? So if you say this is your goal of getting in front of the camera and starting a YouTube channel, you want to say, well, I don't have an account yet, so let me start there. Today I'm going to wake up and all I have is my phone. So I'm going to find out the right settings to make this phone look like the highest quality possible. Okay, people are talking about lighting. I don't have a lot of money, but right now I have natural sunlight, right? Like, these are the things. If you have 3 things of importance that you do every single day and you've done them, you're literally giving yourself the dopamine kick that you need to say, okay, I can actually do the things that I'm saying. I keep promises to myself. If I set a goal of getting up at a certain time every single day and I get up and do it, if I have a goal of not eating as many snacks and having more healthy meals, and when I want to grab a snack, I grab an apple, I'm going to feel more confident in my ability to make the right choices. And the same with you. Confidence is not that you wake up every single day and you're like, damn, I look better than everybody else. That's just weird. That's just weird. That's not even confidence. Confidence is literally that you say to yourself, I promised myself I was going to go to the gym. I promised myself I was going to go for this walk. I promised myself that I'm going to film this video. And then you did those things. Now you know that you're capable of doing those things. And you can say to yourself, wow, I actually do what I say I'm going to do. I am a reliable person. When you say you're a reliable person, guess who first relies on you? You. So that energy of knowing that you can rely on yourself keeps you moving forward. So when you have people in your life that you cannot rely on, guess what? We're not worried about it because we can first rely on us. Okay, the next tip is to prioritize self-discovery and self-acceptance and not love. Now, again, we're talking about, these are lessons that when I think back on my life in my 20s, when I really shifted my life, these were things that helped me at that stage of life, okay? And if let's say you're older, you're in your 30s as well, and you're thinking to yourself, well, I do want love. We're not saying love is off the table. We're not saying that you never in life want to have a partner or want to be with somebody. That's not what we're saying. We're saying, again, like that first point where we're talking about, settling, you can't find the right kind of love until you know who you are at your core. One of the biggest lies that we believe is that you attract the kind of partners in your life, like you attracted those people. I really feel like that is just absolute rubbish because it's no different than your parents. Let's say you have narcissistic parents, toxic parents. You did not attract those people. They were just there. And when we think about the kind of partners that we gravitate towards, it's not that you've attracted them, it's what you think is normal. If you grew up with parents who were toxic, manipulative, did not respect your boundaries, very codependent, very using of your energy, you're going to go out into the world and think that's normal. And you will gravitate towards friends and relationships that literally align with that core that you were taught as a child or in your younger formative years of what is normal. The only way to transmute that energy into something else is for you to realize that that's not healthy, that that's not what you desire, that you're not comfortable in that kind of energy. And you cannot get there until you have self-love and self-acceptance. Because if you're not aware of who you are, you'll go out into the world and think that other people know you better than you. Think that they have better interests for you than you do. If you have a goal, if you have a vision board, if your younger self had desires, you know what she wants. These other people just met you 5 minutes ago. They're not going to be able to tell you who you are. Now, some people who have high levels of empathy, high levels of discernment, high levels of intuition, sure, we can look at you and say, okay, you're saying this, but the energy came from a different place. But people like that are not going to try and use you. We are not going to try and come out and use that to our advantage. That's a whole douchebag. We are not those kind of people. So when you find people who are trying to tell you like, oh, I know you better. I've given these examples before, right? These people in my past who really cut me down, but then in the next minute wanted to give me things, take me to get my nails done, take me to do things. The reason why is because they wanted to channel my self-love through them. They wanted to be the ones who could give me permission to like myself. You need to be very clear on yourself and your self-worth so that people like this, when they do come around, because they will, because you didn't attract them, darling, they are there. And a lot of times people like this are attracted to you. But if we're not aware enough to see who these people are, we can't decide who we want to be around. You're not attracting these partners, but if you consider it normal, then you're going to gravitate and choose them. You could get, let's say Tom is a really nice man, but Rick is not such a great, I actually know Rick, I'm sorry. I'm coming up with a different name. Steve, okay? Steve is not a nice man, but Tom really is a good man, right? And you think to yourself, I want a kind of Tom in my life. I want someone like Tom. But if what is normal to you is Steve, even when Tom is available, you'll be suspicious of Tom because Steve is mirroring the things that you heard from when you were a child, and you will gravitate towards Steve. Even if both were available to you in your 20s, that's an opportunity to level up. This also reminds me, there are several points. If you're paying attention in your life, there are several crossroads that you come across in your life in which you could do the right thing or the comfortable thing. The thing that will help you grow or the easy thing that feels easier and more comfortable but will keep you stagnant. In my life, the moments in which I decided to do the thing that was more uncomfortable, I unlocked literally new levels in my life. And the same works for you. You want to change your barometer. You want to change what is considered normal so that you literally can see people like Tom when they come and not just be attracted to people like Steve. My next point is that you don't need anyone's permission to literally exist in the way that you desire. A lot of times we are, again, what's considered normal. We are made to feel like you need other people to approve of your plan. And we talk about this all the time. We're programmed, TV programs, media, stuff on out in the world that shows us we need the approval of our friends or family in order for us to celebrate ourselves. There were so many points where I didn't even realize what I had done was worthy of celebrating because the people around me were such haters that they could not celebrate me. I had to start celebrating myself. One of the things that I do, I really didn't like my birthday at one point because certain people in my life were such trash individuals with such low energy that it actually made me hate the day I was born. And now, because I've transmuted that energy, I'm at a place where we celebrate all of our birthdays for a week long, just to literally make my nervous system more comfortable with the idea of making something about me for longer than 2.5 seconds. And the same thing with you. When you have things you want to celebrate about yourself and you don't have anybody around you who wants to celebrate you because they dislike your joy, you have to give that to yourself. You have to say to yourself, it was okay for us to do that. Even if it's just in your mind, you're thinking back to younger versions of yourself and you're giving her a hug. You're loving on yourself. You're journaling the things that you used to think and how you think now. These are things to celebrate. These are things to actually prioritize as wins, as achievements in our life. The next tip is to stop trying to be nice at your own expense. Being nice is not only a superpower, but it is a gift, especially because there are so many people who do not behave in a way that aligns with you giving them your kindness. However, when we're being taken advantage of or when people are treating us in a way that is disrespectful, being nice is now looking like you don't have any kind of boundaries or you don't value yourself. And as someone who is a very nice person, this was a difficult lesson for me to learn because people really do think you're dumb because you're nice. And that's also a very weird energy to be in because a lot of times, like, think about it this way. When you're a smart person, you have more available to you mentally. You have more tools available to you. You also have more tolerance for things in life. You can see how somebody's perspective can be skewed because of their upbringing, right? So you won't go over there and curse them out, even though they've disrespected you, because you can see why they thought that that was acceptable and normal. However, if that person thinks that you're just dumb because you let them talk to you, however, we're now crossing into a realm of not standing up for ourselves or being kind enough to ourselves. I have literally watched people who start fights with individuals when they know they've done something wrong. And they will go on and on with this person. And then eventually say, oh, well, let me be the bigger person and I don't want to have this fight with you, so I'm just going to be the bigger person and let's stop this and push this to the side. And a lot of these people love quoting Bible verses when they're doing this foolishness. So you don't want to be so nice. If you were taught that when someone apologizes, the moment they apologize, you have to forgive them, that's a lie, right? Because if somebody has hurt you, you have the right to be upset and to navigate through those emotions in a healthy way to fully process how you feel. If at the end of it, you feel like, sure, I don't hold a grudge, but I never want to see you again, that's your right. And we don't ever want to be in a place where we're dismissing our own needs because we're prioritizing the needs of other people. Being too nice in a world that thinks nice people are dumb is literally one of the fastest ways to get yourself caught up and feel like your life isn't going in the direction you want it to. My next point is learn to love receiving higher standards of care and love and respect. This is from your friends, from partnerships, from relationships, from anything that you have going in life. Learn to love, literally love, receiving higher standards of love and care. So this goes back to my other points. When you want a relationship, right? And let's say your desired relationship is one in which it is equally yoked, balanced. There's just so much care and love in this relationship. The only way that you're going to be able to receive that kind of love is not just by giving it, but it's also by being comfortable with actually receiving it. So I've said, maybe I've told this story before, but when I met my husband, one of the things that I asked God for help was to be able to recognize my husband. And that was because I truly had not experienced that kind of level of love. Like what I was asking for was a love that I was willing to give to somebody else, but I had never received that kind of love. So I needed help identifying it. This is why I say I don't believe in the idea that you attract these partners or you attract what you are, because these other men who would have been better for me were always available. I just didn't see them. I didn't recognize them. And now I do believe in the idea of, when we talk about not being too nice, there are some men, in my opinion, and women can be like this too. Again, this is not gender specific, but I have met men who were really nice and it was not natural or it was kind of scary, right? And so that's not what I'm talking about. I wanted a kind of love that was fulfilling. I wanted a real embodied love. I wanted something that was in my wildest dreams. And I couldn't receive that until I could recognize it and I was comfortable allowing that kind of energy into my life and my existence. And that came from actually releasing any kind of control or feelings of what it should look like, who it should come from, how our relationship would be, what I thought. Anything I thought, I was like, it has to go because I'm not sure. Now, again, when we talk about how do we receive these higher levels of love, you have to first give it to yourself. So when I wanted this kind of love, I did not, this was far beyond whatever I had imagined for myself. However, that's why I say to you, God, the universe, whatever you believe in, whatever you call it, their ability to give you more is infinite. Your imagination cannot even fathom the level of love, life, success that you desire for yourself, like how good it can get. And sometimes that's a prayer I have, is literally show me how good it can get, because my limited view will scare me so much that I won't step out in faith because I'm not sure what's waiting for me, because I don't feel capable enough based on qualifications I currently have. This is why we have to learn to let go. So when I was looking for this kind of love, what I first did was invite luxury into my life. So I started to literally go out, to nicer places. When I went on girls' trips, we stayed at really nice hotels. I started buying myself things that are, now we're not trying to go broke, okay? It is not in your budget, babe, we're not even doing that to ourselves. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about faking it until you make it. I'm saying within my budget, these were things I could do for myself. So I started doing stuff like this, and then I could see myself in that life. I could see myself having those kinds of things. When I bought my first house, I was scared. I prayed to God. I was like, I can't see how this is going to work, and I'm going to trust in you. I'm going to put all my faith in you because I don't think you would have led me here to leave me here. And that releasing, that ability to let go is also part of regulating your nervous system. That helps you calm down and get back into your body. Realize where you are and what you desire for yourself is safe for you to have. It's okay for you to have. And this leads into my next point, which is to trust yourself with your bigger dreams. When we trust ourselves, When we say I am capable of achieving the things that I desire, we are actually saying I am willing to go the distance with you. You are saying this to yourself. You could practice saying this stuff in the mirror, okay? These are affirmations that will literally rewrite neural pathways in your brain. These are things that are going to help you see yourself differently in order to show up differently. The version of you that you desire to be, she exists. You just don't see how you can get there yet. So we have to learn to trust. Trust is also letting go. The version of Alana that was back there afraid and didn't know how we were going to get here, she had to trust that I existed now, that who I am now did exist, and that I was going to be capable of helping her get here. So that means writing down the things that you desire, having a plan of how you're going to achieve that, achieving one or two things every single day. It doesn't have to be big. One or two things every single day that is in alignment with that future self that you desire to be. So for example, that version of me that wanted a higher love, luxury in my life, more peace, more relaxation in my life, and she's booking nicer vacations, going to better places. That wasn't every single day. That wasn't like I was showing up, at a hotel every other week, because I did have a job. I was doing it when I had the opportunities, but every single day I was learning how to put myself together in a way that would make me feel more comfortable and confident. When I had the goal of going back to school and getting my degree, that scared me. And I say this all the time in my videos. I was not happy and joyful. I was afraid. I wanted to do it, but I was definitely afraid. But I had to trust that all I needed to do was show up every single day and try my best. Learn the material that I wanted to. I was having fun with it. And that allowed me to achieve the goal that I had of graduating with honors with my degree. And the ability to teach my kids that it was possible for them too. I couldn't be that version of myself unless I trusted past versions of me and future versions of me. Which brings me to my next point. Stop pushing the finish line back, okay? When we are younger and we're trying to desire to shift in life, we can literally say, okay, I'm going to start this business, but I have to first get this credential first. I have to first get this degree. I have to first do this thing first. And let's say you have, okay, I want to start the business and I'm just going to open, this account, set up for this and buy the things that I'm going to sell or whatever it is, that create the thing you're going to sell. And then you do it. And then you're like, okay, well, I don't know. I think I'm going to need this first in order to do this. Same thing with YouTube. If you have a phone, you have a microphone, even if you don't have a microphone, if you have a phone, you can set up for YouTube, right? But if you push the line back, the finish line back, and you say, well, now I need the camera, and now I need this equipment, and now I need this, and now I need an editor, and now I need this thing, your ability to achieve step one gets further and further and further back, and your confidence in yourself dwindles. Your confidence in your ability to show up for yourself is diminished. This is why we don't push the finish line back. That doesn't mean we can't evolve once we achieve a goal. It does mean, though, that we are giving ourselves the room to trust ourselves with our bigger goals and desires. We're trusting our ability to achieve the thing we said we're going to. That the finish line is right there. You also don't want to put so much emphasis and energy in that finish line. Because if, like, for example, let's say you want to be in a relationship, that is not going to give you the fulfillment. If you say, if I get that thing, that's going to give me, now I can finally be happy. You want to have happiness now. You want to bring that energy from the future into the now. You want to be present in the now. Okay. This other point is very important. Let the people who think you're dumb think what they want to. The people who thought I was stupid and couldn't see through them and they were playing me and all this other foolishness, let them. Because when they tried to spin the block and come around and be my friend again or date me again, I wasn't there. Why? Because I'm not dumb. You want people to think whatever they want to about you while you go achieve the things that you desire for yourself, while you go live the lavish luxury life that you always desired for yourself. people are just revealing that they're not meant to be with you. They're not meant to be on the yacht with you. They're not meant to be on the flight to Costa Rica with you. These are people who are supposed to be back in the past, and you leave them there. Anybody who thought you were dumb enough to get played, let them think that. We don't need them to know that we saw them, what we think about them, what we think about their mom. Like, it doesn't matter. Let those people think what they want while you go run your bag and get your life and achieve the things that you desire in your life. The next thing that I think every woman should know is that you want to date people who help you solve problems and don't create them. Dating somebody who brings more problems into your life than they solve is a headache. This is a narcissist, a toxic individual. These are not people we want to be around. One of the things that I love most about my husband is that he helps me solve so many problems. He helps me see things clearly, and he sees the visions for my goals, my dreams, the things that I want to do. He loves supporting me. He loves making me happy. And when I have a problem, I have to be careful with telling him sometimes, because he will go solve it. If somebody upset me, he will go speak to these people. He does not have a problem. And he is not rude. He is a very sweet, gentle man, but he does not like seeing me unhappy. That's a very different space and energy than my past relationships, where people would be joyful to create problems in my life. And that's not just dating partners, that's friends as well. This is why I'm saying you want people in your life who are going to help you navigate choppy waters to pleasure luxury islands, not people who are jacking up the calm waters so that they can take you to trash island. This is not the kind of space or energy we want to be in. We want to be around people who want to help us navigate life in a positive way. There are already enough problems trying to increase your confidence, increase your self-worth, pay your bills, live, survive, to turn around and have someone in your life who sees you at a calm, healthy space and then decides they want to take you down a couple notches. There was literally someone in my life who actually told me that they wanted to bring me down a couple of notches. And the person that they ended up with, this individual, they literally suck the life out of them and caused so many problems in their life, and actually says to them that it's debt paying time in their relationship. You do not want to be with somebody who wants to bring so many problems to your life that you don't even have the ability to see yourself clearly anymore, because you're so clouded by the negativity that you're constantly navigating through, especially when these are not problems you need to have. My next point is that marriage is not the finish line. Marriage is not the ultimate goal and then you get it and die. Like, no. Men who are balanced in their energy, who are grounded in their energy, are the kind of men that you want to align yourself with. You do not want to be with men who you have to fix. It does not mean that somebody cannot have traumas that they're unpacking, right? Use your discernment. This is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you're trying to literally, through desperation and clouded judgment, make a relationship that isn't even marriage material, when you're trying to shove it into the box of marriage because you believe that the ultimate goal in your existence as a woman is to get married, like, there are a lot of us, like, sure, we are programmed to believe that marriage should be the ultimate goal. But the other problem is that we're not even taught. We're literally not taught anything about relationships or marriage. A lot of women have not been given those lessons. And again, these messages are never from a place of judgment, always from a place of love. So you never want to think to yourself like, well, I feel judged because I want to get married. That's not what I'm saying. Wanting to get married is not a bad thing. It's who you get married to that we want to be very clear on. This is why we're prioritizing self-discovery. We're not settling. We're getting clear on the fact that we don't need to be nice all the time to people who are treating us like trash. Because if you believe that marriage is the ultimate goal, you will do everything in your power to ignore all of the red flags in order to just get to that place of saying that you have a husband or you have a wife. And that's not the way that you want to live your life. You do not want to be in a place of being so distracted by an imaginary end goal that you create more problems in your life than you solve. The next point, which I did touch on this in the beginning, but I want it to be its own point, is that true feminine energy, divine, aligned feminine energy, is a regulated nervous system. When you are regulated in your nervous system, when you are not in fight or flight, when you are not stressed out, when you are not feeling like the world is going to come crashing down any moment, you can calmly and soundly make decisions in your life. Stress really does kill. Stress has such an impact on your body on a physiological level. It's not funny. It's literally not funny. There are so many studies on stress and how it kills brain cells, how it changes your blood vessels, how it disrupts your digestion and your reproductive system. It literally has an impact, and this is men and women, this is not gender specific, has such an impact on our bodies that if you stay in that state for too long, you can literally die. It causes such problems in your body. You can cause extreme exhaustion of your systems. And when a woman is able to fully rest and be at ease, that does not mean, that's whatever you want it to be, okay? It does not mean, I'm not talking about cookie cutter, stay at home wife life. Like, if that's not what you desire, you don't have to have that. If you want to have a career, have a job, like, you can still have a regulated nervous system. When we have our basic needs met, like, let's stop playing like money is not part of the equation. When you have your basic needs met, whether you meet them yourself or you're in a relationship where there is balance and you both have things that you're adding to the pot, it doesn't matter. When those basic needs are met, you have the ability to think about other things, to explore other avenues of your life. Being the kind of mom that wants to cook for her family and desires to pick out my kids' clothes and write little notes in their lunch boxes, that would not come if I was stressed and feeling like I don't have the time to pour into my own cup or do things for myself. So when we're talking about being stress-free and being relaxed, that's also pouring into your own cup and loving on yourself in a way that reminds you that you matter too. You can make better decisions when you feel more regulated and calm in your body. You can see things more clearly. You can navigate in spaces that are meant for you more effectively when you're in a state of feeling calmer, safe, protected. Again, we're talking about, advice that any woman at any stage should have, but definitely when you're younger and you're in your early 20s or you're in your 20s, this does not mean that it comes from a man. This does not mean that it comes from a relationship. It comes from you. These are things you want to give to yourself. These are things, even if you're stressed out right now because you're in school or you have a job that stresses you out, you want to find ways that help you reconnect with yourself, calm yourself, help you feel more stress-free in your own life. How we're navigating those spaces and what we're doing in those spaces is going to either add to or detract from where we desire to be. The last tip that I have for you is to remain neutral. When we take a neutral approach to the things in our life that are stressing us, causing us harm, angering us, we have the ability to detach in a healthy way. We don't get so derailed or stressed about what people think of us or how people are talking to us, or like none of that stuff gets to us. Another thing in this space of being neutral is when you present yourself to people, when you speak to people, when you connect to people, when you desire to connect to people, a lot of times we're not always having a conversation with the people in front of us. We're processing things that we have experienced, right? In our subconscious mind or in our conscious mind. And those people can sometimes trigger us based on what they're saying. And you want to be in a place where you no longer react negatively to those things. And then you go out into the world and you're having a conversation with this person, but you're actually thinking about what somebody said to you before, or you're concerned that this person is going to do that. So you bring the energy of that past interaction into the now. A lot of people destroy opportunities in their life because they're very nasty, they're very mean, they're very rude, they're very dismissive of people because they're too busy carrying around baggage from before and thinking these people are going to try and talk to them the same way. These people are going to play them the same way. I always think of it like this when I'm, especially like even these YouTube videos, there are people who come on here and they're aggressive or they're mean or they're dismissive or it just feels too harsh. They don't know you, right? I don't know you. I'm saying these things from a place of these are lessons I've learned in my life and I'm hoping they help you. However, if I brought in the energy of, oh, I remember that time that girl said that thing to me and she might be watching this and I'm irritated. This advice is not going to come from a loving, calm, non-judgmental place because I'm going to be thinking about the people who did some of these things and now it's going to come out more harsh and more bitter than I want it to. And the same thing with you. When you go out into life, you want to be able to present your best self. And that is in any way that you desire, whether that is physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically. But you want it to be aligned. You want it to be the best of you, the softest, purest, most aligned, happy, joyful version of you. That doesn't mean you're happy all the time. That doesn't mean life is always going the way you want it to. It means that your ex who completely destroyed your inner world, that you're not then every time you see someone who looks like that individual or who has the name of that individual or the woman he left you for or the girl who said whatever to you, that you're now coming with that vile anger and you're destroying relationships that have nothing to do with that past. That's what I mean. So when we come from a place of being neutral, we can literally say it can become anything in this moment. It's like water, where if you have water and you add sugar and lemons to it, you have lemonade. If you boil it and have, carrots and chicken, you have soup. That water is the neutral state and it can become anything you want it to. The same with you. If you take the lessons that you have learned, because we are transmuting and we are learning, we are taking that and making it into something positive. And we don't need permission for that. We don't need someone from our past to say it's okay for us to be this version of ourselves. This is why I keep telling you, you learn these things, you not only change your life, but people don't recognize you. And they don't recognize you because you come with a different energy than what you had before. So I keep saying, you'll be like Neo in the Matrix, dodging bullets, because now you can see things from a very different perspective. And you're the kind of person, because you are, that can take the lessons that you've learned, you can extract them from those moments, and you can transmute that energy into something more positive. And you can use that to fuel your glow up, your come up, your bag, your goals, whatever it is you desire to be in this life, it will come closer and faster to you because you're allowing yourself to step into that more fully capable, knowing that you are deserving and you trust yourself with your bigger dreams, your bigger goals, and you have confidence because you keep your promises to yourself. And you are not that girl who lets people come in and treat you however, because she spent the time doing the inner work and she knows exactly who she is. So when someone comes and says to you, well, I think you deserve a little bit less, I want to knock you down a couple notches, you can just laugh because you don't play those games. And you walk away because we don't need to explain ourselves. Because if they want to think we're dumb, we leave them on red and we go about our business.